Hey everybody, this is Tom from Rocket Restorations, and today we're going to show you how to decode all the body numbers on a 1970 Plymouth Sport Satellite. So a little background on this car. Got this from a friend of mine, Matt, in Montana, and he's in Chinook, Montana, and I am super jealous of him because he is the owner of a dealership over there and is about my age. There aren't many guys our age that own dealerships, and it's been in his family since, oh, I know I'm going to mess the date up. He's going to get mad at me, but I think the 20s, maybe even the teens. It's been there forever. And he's, knows the Mopar guys, so people tend to find him over there. But they're in central Montana, kind of east of the Rockies there, and stuff just doesn't rust over there. So what happens is the sun actually burns the paint off the cars, and then they're just bare metal. And unfortunately, when it moves over here, they kind of flash rust because we were on the wet side of the mountains. I bought a 70 Rotor in Montana last year, and this is going to end up probably being a parts car for that because it's a really, really solid car. Got good quarters, floor pans, trunk, so fenders, deck lid, so it's going to be a parts owner for that. Fortunately, the bottom of the fenders got a little rusty, but all right, off task. Let me get back on task. So the numbers. So first number we're going to look at here is the VIN number on the dash on a 1970 B-Body. It's on the dash right here. So it is RP41 GOG 115723. R is B-Body Plymouth. P is Premium, which is Sport Satellite. 41 is four-door sedan. G is 318 two-barrel. 0 is the year, 1970. G is the plant, St. Louis. And the last 6 is the sequence number. So another body number they put on these, and this is the 1970s, the first year they did this. They put a sticker on the door. And little quiz, it's kind of interesting. On early cars, they actually write out the year. So this is a pretty early car, and it says August 1969 on it. Starting in, I think, late September, they would just put the months. It'd be 9 for September, 10 for October, and the rest of the year. But on the early ones, they actually wrote out the August 1969. Somebody had to type those out, so I'm sure that was just a time-saving thing. And again, the VIN's on there, RP41, GOG 115723. Interesting little trivia on a Sport Satellite. Even on a four-door, bucket seats were standard. So see that little bracket right there? That's actually the reinforcement plate. So you can tell if you ever see a car has those reinforcement plates, you know it was an original bucket seat car. And then the bucket seats in these would not have folded down. They would have been solid. There's actually a few parts I need for my six-barrel rotor in here. Great parts car. We've taken a lot of stuff over the years. All right, next bit of documentation. We're gonna go under the hood, and we're gonna go to the Fender Tag next. So here's the engine bay, original 318 still in there. And the Fender Tag is right here. A little bit dirty. Let me get the cobwebs off of it. Really nice Fender Tag, actually. So this is a St. Louis layout. Every plant laid them out a little bit differently. Like Lynch Road, for example, was really different. Most of the rest kind of follow the same pattern. So go from left to right, bottom to top. So E44 is 318 two-barrel. D31 is automatic 904. RP41 GOG 115723 is the VIN. EB3 is the color, which is light blue. I think that was ice blue. I probably should have looked that up. Somebody will correct me in the comments. But it's the lightest blue they made. P6, B7. P is premium interior. 6 is bucket seats. And B7 is the color, which is dark blue. EB7 is the upper door frame color. So on these cars, they painted the upper door frames, got different colors. So see the original color there, that's the light blue, and that's dark blue. So that's the B7. B7 was lighter than B3. So the lower the number on the color, the lighter it was. So B3 is lighter than B7, and the B3 is lighter than B5 as well. SPD is September 5th. It's a pretty early car. Production started on or around August 1st. So this is about a month into production. 045489 is the vehicle order number. And that could be generated from Chrysler, or when you, if it was an ordered car from the dealer, that would be the number on the upper right-hand corner of the order form. Then the next line, the third line from the bottom, EB3, that's the top color. So if it had a vinyl top, that would have been a V1, whatever the color was. But since this was a painted top, they show the color twice. A01 is light package. A04 is the basic package. That came with a bunch of stuff like power steering, AM radio, a few other things. C21 is a buddy seat, so that goes in between the bucket seats as an armrest. C55 is bucket seats. G31 is passenger mirror. G33 is remote driver mirror. Still has both of them. Passenger mirror is a really rare option on these. I don't know why more people didn't get it. It wasn't that expensive back in the day, and it really helps with safety, especially if you don't have a rear defroster in your car and you can't see out the window when it fogs up. J25 is 3-speed wipers. Unfortunately, somebody took that at some point, along with the buckets. They were gone when we got it. L31 is hood turn signals, which are still in the car, right there on the hood. Most cars got them on the fender. They got them on a hood on a 70 Satellite. And then a Roadrunner, if you had the bulge hood, they went on the back of the scoop. L61 is another light, and I believe that's the trunk light, I believe. M21 is drip rail moldings. M25 is rocker moldings. R11 is AM radio. V7B is a side stripe. So it would have had a painted stripe along the side in blue. So you can see there's a little bit of evidence here of it still left on the door. Most of it's kind of burned off from the paint, but it's kind of funny. A lot of times when cars come from this environment where it's really dry and really a lot of sun, there'll be like original paint underneath the stripe. So the paint will burn off the stripe and the original paint will be underneath it. But you can still see the witness on there for it. And then END is end of codes. And if you're ever looking for fake Fender tags, St. Louis is pretty unique where they have a stamping right here. It's really hard to read because it's dirty. So they generally have 3 numbers there. And then the F is the inspection mark. So they would inspection stamp. So yeah, you can see a 2 there. It's kind of hard to see, but when you're looking for a fake Fender tag on a St. Louis car, you always have to have those stamps on there. I've seen a bunch of different stamps. That one says F. I've seen mushrooms. I've seen a bunch of different stuff. And that was probably just like at the end of the line inspector doing that. Okay, so we've shown you the VIN tag, we've shown you the door sticker, and we showed you the fender tag. So the next thing we're gonna do is show you the hidden secret body numbers. I love that right there, original paint covers. I love the little details of that. Also notice the blackout, which is, as most of you who know my videos, is a huge pet peeve, getting the blackout right. Here's a real good original example of one if you wanna see what one looks like. They don't go up in the core support because they don't need to because it's not seen. Fantastic. So the body numbers on here are on the core support. And we did a video on a 68 Roadrunner a couple weeks ago, and that is way different than this. So on a Roadrunner, it's actually the vehicle order number and the SPD. On this, it's the VIN. So these are the last 6 of the VIN, but for whatever reason, they reversed the numbers on the plant in the year. I don't know why. So G is St. Louis, O is the year, 70, and that's the 4-digit sequence, 115223. Or sorry, 723. Sorry about that, 115723. You can see that matches the fender tag, matches the VIN, matches the door sticker. And then on the VIN, it's OG last 6. On the body stamping, it's plant and then year. I don't know why they reversed that, but that is correct. So that's where it is on a St. Louis car. And there's always 2 body numbers on every car. So the other body number is back on the trunk. All right, on the B-bodies, they put it on the trunk rail right back here. But the thing is, if you have an original car or looking at a restored car, the trunk seal blocks it. It's glued on top of it. So if you're looking at a really nice car, like a restored car, you're not going to tear that off to check it. It's just not going to work because it's not fair to the buyer to like damage their car to do that. So, but on this car, it's just a parts car, so it's fine. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull it up with this and we're going to scrape it off and see if we can find it. And it did vary quite a bit by where it is. And I'm just gonna, this is an original trunk seal, but it's already pretty toast. So it's just gonna, it's nice keeping water out of the trunk, but it doesn't really matter. I'll leave it here. But we're just looking for the numbers for an example here. But this is an untouched car. This is an original seal on here. It's never been modified before. And basically, you just need to scrape this off until you can find where the body numbers are. Okay, so there was a consistent place where they're supposed to put them, but it did change a little bit. So if you can kind of look right here, here's the whole rail right here. You can look kind of the pinch weld right here, and it's, you know, a couple inches above the pinch weld right here. You can see the stamping right there. What we're gonna do is we're gonna scrape the rest of this off so we can read it. And again, this is a 4-door Satellite. That's gonna be a parts car. It does the numbers matching on this one doesn't really matter, but you can also tell how unmolested the car was and how nice it was, because all this is still intact in there. Look at that original paint underneath there. It's gorgeous. Again, this is the same as the Court Sport number, so it is GO. Again, those numbers are reversed from the VIN, and then 115723, just like the back. And we'll just leave that right there so the trunk can be closed and keep water out of it. So there you go. That's what the body numbers are on a 1970 B-Body built at the St. Louis plant. Most of the other plants are the same. You know, Fender Tag layouts are different on like a Lynch Road car, and Windsor plant did some weird stuff too, but that's kind of generally where this stuff is. Man, I need to pull some parts off this. Those taillights are gorgeous. Those are the same as GTX. Sport Satellite was basically the same trim as the GTX. They were built the same way. Roadrunner was based on the Satellite or the Belvedere, so the trim's a little bit different. They're just not quite as high in the car. They don't have the wood grain trim on the door and all that. So, but yeah. So thanks everybody for watching. In case you're curious, that's where the hidden body numbers are and all the VIN. If you want to have a numbers matching car, all that stuff needs to match in your car. It's the same thing on a 4-door Satellite as it would be on a 70 Hemi Roadrunner. Exact same body numbers, exact same place. This is a great example just to show you where the numbers are on that. So thanks everybody for watching. Really appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.